Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today we are doing SinB's individual reading. In this video we will check out her current energy, her career, any love messages and any healing messages that go through for her video. We have tarot cards and oracle decks, and let's just jump right into her video. Also, I kind of wanted to mention that this time I feel like I finally figured out the lighting for it. So the lighting for the video. So I hope that you guys can see how much better it is now. For SinB's current energy, how is she doing? Oh, we have the sun. That's good. We have the sun and we have the Six of Swords. Okay, so the sun is actually a very positive card. The sun is a card about someone that is very happy, very optimistic, someone that is healing their inner child or is doing what they've always wanted to do, or something along those lines. So it seems like SinB currently is in an energy where she's very happy, very positive, very content with life. And that's why we have the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords, usually when it's upright, it talks about someone that is mentally leaving behind all the turmoil, all the ruckus, all of the difficult things that are keeping their mind preoccupied, and they are moving towards something a lot calmer, a lot better, and a lot easier for the mind, because swords are all about your thoughts, your ideas, and your way of speaking. So the fact that we have it reversed, I feel that it's kind of like there's two sides to this. SinB is in a place of her life where she tries to be very optimistic, tries to be very happy with the sun, but then we have the Six of Swords reverse. That kind of tells me that things are still kind of complicated. Like, she still can't leave behind something that is bothering her, something that she keeps thinking about, is something that always stays within her. So it seems like she's still going through that period where, yeah, there's happiness, she's optimistic, she's positive that things will get better, and she's shining as bright as ever. However, things are still there's something that is still bothering her. Let's see what else is going on with SinB's current energy. The card that just flew out was a Ten of Pentacles. So it seems like she feels very confident, very comfortable that things are going to work out, like materially. So her material 3D world is very established, very stable. I was thinking of, like, maybe she seems to be very supportive by her family, or she's not economically in a tight spot. So it seems like she seems to be very okay about all of that. I guess if she is in a physical well-off life, so she doesn't have to worry about what she's gonna eat the next day, how she's gonna earn money and stuff like that, then I guess that makes sense why at least that side of herself is satisfied and it's okay, and because of that she can be happy and optimistic, that she doesn't have to worry about that. So she seems to be in a very good place where survival is not necessarily like a problem. Like, she can definitely survive and she definitely seems to be okay with it. But yeah, this Ten of Pentacles is someone that has like a legacy, or someone that has left something behind in the sense of generational things. So this could be a card about heritage, it could be a card about money, because the Ten of Pentacles talks about money, wealth, material things, it's instability. For me, the Pentacles card always talks about stability, but here we have, like, if you look at it, we have like the grandma with like the grandchildren right there. So to me that kind of shows like a generational type of thing. Also with this card, I'm getting that she could be currently just staying with her family a lot and learning from the family traditions and heritage and all of that, but seems like she's in a very stable environment, so she can definitely take things a little bit easier, it feels like. We have the Eight of Wands reverse, we have the Fool. Okay, so with those two cards, I'm getting that currently SinB is in a position where she wants to take action and she wants to get something done, but it seems like she's kind of like a little bit scatterbrained. What I mean by that is that she is currently in a place where she can't concentrate her energy, because the Eight of Wands is usually a card that talks about having all your energy concentrated on one thing. It's like if all the wands were aiming at one specific target. And in this case, the fact that it's reversed, I'm kind of getting that her energy is kind of scattered. She doesn't know where to concentrate that energy. She doesn't know where to put it. Let's say she has a lot of projects in mind, but she doesn't know which one to do first or how to go about that. I feel that's kind of what this card is talking about. She's kind of scattered right now. She doesn't know. She knows that she wants to do something. She knows that she wants to start new projects, take action on something new, but she doesn't know what that is. And because of that, she may be trying a little bit of everything, or she may be thinking of a lot of things that she could do, but not really taking much action into making them happen. But I think that's because she hasn't figured out what the right project is for her. But yeah, she seems to be, with that Fool card, she seems to be very trusting in the universe is going to help her out. She seems to just know that things are going to work out. Again, she did have the Sun as her first card coming out, so I do feel that that kind of shows that if she's so optimistic, that will definitely help her see that things will get better despite not going the way that she wants them right now. So this Eight of Wands, what is it all about? Oh, we have the Nine of Cups, and we have the Seven of Swords. So with this Nine of Cups, I was asking, these two cards came out to kind of clarify that Eight of Wands, and the Nine of Cups, which is this card, as a clarifier, kind of tells me that SinB wants to make sure that whatever it is that she's going to work on is something that will emotionally satisfy her. So it's going to be something that she's content with. She wants to make sure that it's something that she's happy with. She's making sure that it's a project that will definitely be something that she's passionate about. It's something that inspires her, something that motivates her. So she's currently working in trying to concentrate that energy in something that will fulfill all of those needs. However, she hasn't found it yet. So I do feel that that's why her energy is very scattered. Like, she doesn't know where to concentrate that energy because she's still trying things out, right? Like, she has, it's kind of like, he'll use a metaphor of food for whatever reason. SinB is taking the samples of different dishes, but she hasn't picked what the dishes for her grand meal will be. Let's kind of put it that way. We also have the Seven of Swords. To me, the Seven of Swords talks about secrets and talks about deception, or trying to keep something very guarded, something along those lines. But with it being reversed, I feel that SinB wants to work on something where she could tell herself, like she's trying to be very honest with herself. She's trying to not hide anything to herself. Like, she's trying to do a very good job of making sure that it's something that she truly enjoys and not because of other things in her life. So let's say what those could be is like maybe expectations that other people have in her, or maybe like, oh, this is good enough for now. You know, she wants to make sure that it's a project that she's definitely content with and there's no like baggage in it, if that makes sense. So that's why that could take a little bit more of time. Oh look, we have the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles just kind of came out. I wasn't ready to ask more, so the fact that one came out kind of tells me that it shows that she wants a project where there's an equal give and take. So she wants to work on something that will give her a lot of happiness, but she also wants to work on a project that will give her as much as she's giving in. So she wants to make sure that it's a balanced project. If she's working with other people, she wants to make sure like it works well in that sense. It could also be like she wants a project that will give her like, that it will be like hitting the jackpot, so it feels like she is earning a lot from it. Potentially, not necessarily. It could also be because the Six of Pentacles does talk about having like a big amount of fortune and wealth coming into your life. However, in this case, it could also be about a balanced give and take. So all the time and investment she puts into that project will be rewarded in the long run. So that's kind of what I'm getting with that. It also feels with this Six of Pentacles that she wants to make sure that if she's working with other people, it's of course equal respect, give and take, it's balanced, it's well taken care of. But the other thing that I was also getting is that she wants a project that feels like it's worth it, basically. Okay, so what else is going on with SinB's current energy? We have the Knight. Okay, so we have the Knight of Swords reverse. We have the Lovers. And we have the Four of Wands reverse. So I'm getting that funnily enough, when I saw the Knight of Swords, my first thought that was that it's a person, and I was like, it could be SinB. So if I'm correct, she's a Gemini, and the Knight of Swords is a Gemini card, so it could be talking about her, even if she wasn't a Gemini. This time I didn't check, so I don't know. So even if she wasn't a Gemini, that card could still represent her. In this case, I'm getting that it's the meaning of someone that's trying to be cautious, someone that's trying not to be reckless, someone that's trying to take things slow, someone that's trying to make a change with, like, yeah, try to make a change, but not in a bad way, especially because we have another Gemini card, which is the Lovers. And in this case, I do feel that if it is about a person, it could be that she's trying to take things slow in her love life. And I think it's funny that it's so specific. Like, this doesn't feel very general per se. Like, sometimes I will do general, like the general reading section part of it, and then I will be like, okay, this could be about their love life, but we'll see when we get there. Or, oh, this could be about their career, we'll see when we get there, right? But in this one, it feels to be very straightforward, which I kind of had a feeling that SinB was going to be straightforward. I wasn't sure why. But yeah, with these 3 cards, I'm getting that this is about her love life. You know, she doesn't feel like her love life is stable. She doesn't feel at home. She doesn't feel secure. She wants a union that is divine in some sort of way, so soulmates, or just that it works out, and she wants to take things slow. So at least in her love life, it feels like she wants to take her time. She wants to study, and make sure that she finds the right person, right? I do feel that she wants to have very good communication with whoever her partner is, so I feel that that's kind of very important in this case. It also feels like there's this duality, you know, of hell and heaven, right? So she feels like, you know, she wants she may be a hopeless romantic somehow. Like, she wants things to work out. She wants a good partner. She wants this and that. However, she also knows, like, the reality of things may not be as she wished for it to be. There you go. So what I mean by that is that she could really want something nice, but she knows that in her current reality, she needs to take things slow in order to make that happen, or she needs to make sure that in order for her to find that stability of home and friendship and care and all of that, it will take some time to build towards that, or that she doesn't have it yet. Well, let me put those cards back. I wasn't ready. Okay, so anything else for SinB? Oh my god. So I'll take this too. Okay, there were only 4. It shouldn't be too bad, but I'll put those away. So the other thing that we have is that she may be very anxious to celebrate the victories in her love life, especially because we're talking about that, and it seems like she has a lot to say. So when we get to her love section, we'll know what's going on there. But we have the Four of Swords. So to me, the Four of Swords reverse kind of shows someone that is very anxious, or doesn't want to think about something, or doesn't want to reflect and meditate about a situation. But it's weird because I see it with the Three of Cups, and the Three of Cups is a good card. It's like very positive, actually. It's about celebration, happiness, and hanging out with friends. And one of the things that I'm listening to is like celebrating the small victories, right? So the fact that they're both together, it kind of actually feels that SinB doesn't even want to celebrate when there's small victories in her love life, because she doesn't want to get her hopes up. So I do feel that could be one of the issues as to why things are not happening. There seems to be a big battle between wands and swords. So what I mean by that is fire and air element. So there's a lot of masculine energy in that sense, because it's very action orientated type of energy, very impulsive, very much like on your face type of energy. So I do feel that with these 2 cards, it kind of shows further confirmation that SinB wants to take action and wants to start celebrating that things are going to be happy, but she can't even start taking the action of thinking about it that way, if that makes sense. So this action is not like a physical, let me do this. It's the action of let me even think about this, if that makes sense. So it's still in her head, basically. Okay, last words for SinB's current energy. Last words. So we have 2 more cards, and we have the Page of Wands and the King of Wands. So I'm getting that this could be a transformation type of energy that we have right here with these 2 cards. So the Page of of Wands reversed to me kind of symbolizes that she doesn't feel like a page. Like she feels like a, yeah, she does feel like a king of wands, right? So she is embracing this very strong Aries energy, which I can see. I mean, we have the Fool that I don't know if it's, I don't think it's Aries, but it gives me those Aries vibes of like just impulsive, just do what you want to do, you know, be a little bit reckless, just take that leap of faith, that type of energy, right? So I believe that the Fool is Uranus, so I guess innovation, change, and freeing yourself from boundaries and limitations. That's what the Fool could potentially mean if you consider it that it's ruled by that planet. But anyway, putting that aside, so SinB doesn't feel like a page of wands. She feels that she has evolved into this king of wands. So that's actually a very good energy. She feels like, I guess that explains why she feels like the sun, right? She feels very good. She feels very optimistic and happy because she feels like this king of wands, meaning that she feels mature. She feels like she knows how to take action. She feels like when is the right time to do things. She feels like she has like the healthy amount of, or like she has the right way of taking action because she knows how to balance her motivations, her passions with her desire of just getting things done. So she knows when to take action and when not to take action. Like that's the maturity that this King of Wands brings. But it also tells me that she feels very confident with herself, and she feels very confident that she knows when to take action, right? Like she knows when is the right time to do things. And I think that at least in her career, she knows it's not time yet because she hasn't figured out what will make her happy. But at least she has the confidence and the self-worth and self-respect to know what is not meant for her. So that's good. When you know what you don't like, it's a step closer to figuring out what you do like, right? Also, the other thing that I'm getting with this page of wands is that she may not necessarily know when is the right time to take action, or she is waiting patiently for the time that life kind of gives her the green light to do something, because this page of wands, not necessarily in this deck, in a different deck, always gives me that, you know, waiting for that green light, you know, waiting for that sign that life is telling you, go, get it done, go for it, do what you have to do, right? So it's not necessarily this deck, it's a different one, but all I'm saying that is that this page of wands is kind of giving me that vibe, right? But it's reversed. I feel like she hasn't gotten the go, you know, she hasn't gotten that that sign of like it's time to get things done. So she's just confidently working on herself to continue being more happy, being more confident, doing what she's passionate about, doing what motivates her. So I think she is in a very good spot within herself right now. I think that she's able to find stability within herself because she is working on her own, on her individuality, and that helps her have, in a way, balance within her, and that makes it easier to see everything around her as good. And even if things are difficult, if she's good with herself, it makes it easier to at least know what to do to continue being good for herself and with herself. I don't know if that makes sense. So let's jump into her career. What's going on with SinB's career? She feels like a very straightforward person. SinB, what's going on with your career? The first card that came out was dependability. It took me forever to figure out how to say that word. I was just like, Okay, what's going on with your career, SinB? These cards are so hard to shuffle. Okay. So we have brilliance and magnetism. So there's a chance that SinB just kinda fell in love with her career. And by that I mean that maybe she found someone that she can work with in her career. Someone that just just kind of attracted her and just kind of brought her towards them. It feels like the energy of someone that is very bright. Okay, it's weird because like I want to say someone that's very bright, but then we see all like these dark blues in the cards, and that kind of tells me that it's someone that has very, very good communication, is very good at speaking, is very good at expressing themselves, and is very confident with that yellow that we see right there. But I'm guessing that this is also someone that works very well with their crown chakra, so they're very aware of things that they do not know about. They're also very aware of working with things that they're are unsure of, or they're very good at just trusting that things are gonna work out. So I do feel that SinB is also in that mentality, so I wouldn't be surprised that she's naturally attracting people like that too. So it's weird. I wanted to talk about love when I saw this card, but I'm starting, as I see the other two cards, I'm starting to feel that because SinB is doing so well for herself and she's working on herself, that has made it easier for her to attract other people that are similar to her. What I mean by that is that, you know, when you have, you know how they say that you attract what you are, or something like that. So I do feel that in this case, SinB is attracting a lot of people that want to work with her, a lot of people that want to have like this closer, deep connection with her. So you know how I was talking about something like that with the Six of Pentacles in her current energy? That's kind of what I'm getting at here. Someone that will give to her as much as she will give back to them. So yeah, with this brilliance, I'm getting that there's a lot of good ideas flowing around. It feels like there's a lot of trust going around in her career. It also seems that she is attracting a lot of people that could be very beneficial in her career. I'm telling you, I thought we were gonna talk about her love life, but when I saw the other cards, it didn't feel like that. So I'm starting to think that maybe she could meet her partner, romantic partner. She could meet them through her career, but that's not necessarily the case right now, at least. Okay, so we have a new start is coming. I guess I shouldn't be surprised about that. Okay, what is going on in SinB's career? What's going on in SinB's career? We also have new moon in Aries. It's time to take action. So yeah, there's, okay, here's the thing. We saw that there was like this energy of like SinB wants to take action, but she doesn't know how, because things are having like, she hasn't figured out what project she wants to take on. She hasn't figured out which one will satisfy her. She hasn't figured out which one motivates her enough to put all her energy concentrated in one section, in one area, in one thing, right? So I do feel with these two cards, there's this new beginning. So I think she's already getting that sign. Like that sign is already coming towards her of like, this is the action you should take, or now it is time to take action. But at least that's in relation to her career though. So I do feel that there is a new project coming in, or there's a new path in her career that she could take. And I just wanted to point it out. I just want to point out that there's still a lot of blue and purple, so that's higher chakras, and by higher chakras I mean like the spiritual ones, not so physical or self, or about the self chakras. It's more about like the spiritual, right? So definitely like divine works are going on right now, like something out there is happening. Okay, what else going on in SinB's career? And we have new moon eclipse. Expect powerful change. So we have 3 new moon cards. So I do feel that there's this very strong message of there's something big, something new happening. There's a boom going on, and when I mean boom, is like a very drastic change is happening in SinB's career. I don't know if it has happened yet, but it's like it's very, very close to happening. So what's going on with SinB's career? What is this new beginning about? So we have Mirak, embrace oneness with the universe. So yeah, with all of that purple, I'm not surprised that the universe is just like, work with us. Then we have doable, the key is within your grasp. So she can already start taking action towards this new project. That's what I'm getting with that. And the last card that we have is Epoch, pause in your journey. Okay, I'm laughing because it may seem a little bit contradictory, right? You may feel like, oh, they're telling her to start doing things, like she can start doing things to make her career work, but then you're also saying that she needs to take a time to pause. That's why I thought it was funny, right? So what I'm getting with that is that the action that she needs to take is to do nothing, if that makes sense. Okay, hear me out on this one. So what I mean by that is that sometimes people don't realize that when you're doing nothing, that is a decision, that is an action, right? Doing nothing is an action. So what is it called? It's kind of like when you have to make a decision but you don't make a decision, so decisions are being made for you. So things are still happening, decisions are still being made, you just didn't make that decision yourself, if that makes sense. Okay, how do I explain this? So an example is like, let's say, this usually happens like in romance novels, in movies and stuff, right? You have the protagonist that is in between two people as romantic interests, and they don't know who to pick. Usually in movies, they kind of force for the protagonist to pick one. You know, that's the whole point of the movie. Oh, the cicadas are so loud. But when in real life, if that were to happen, and you know the protagonists weren't to make a decision between the two people that are romantically interested in the protagonist, then what could happen is that even though the protagonist doesn't make the choice, the other two people will make choices of their own, and it could be to just leave the protagonist, and the protagonist just stays single and lonely for the rest of their lives. Okay, I'm exaggerating on that one, but what I mean by that is that when you don't do nothing, you're also doing something, right? When you are not making a decision, you are making a decision, right? Inaction is a decision. Inaction is an action, right? So that's all I'm saying with that. But in this case, what I mean is that what life is talking about here in SinB's career is that the thing that she has to do is continue working on herself, continue reflecting, continue manifesting, continue thinking. And yeah, the right action is to continue figuring out what she wants to do. I do feel that what she's doing already is what has to be done. So let's say she's trying to figure out different projects and trying these new things. You know, the example I gave of like, you know, the samples of different foods, and then slowly figuring out what dishes she's going to pick for her grand feast or her grand meal. That's kind of what I'm talking about. In this case, is like life is encouraging SinB to continue doing those little things and figuring out what works for her, because by doing that, it makes it easier for life as well to figure out what they can offer her, what projects they can give to her, and stuff along those lines. So I do feel that in this case, what she's doing right now is beneficial. It is very important. In this card, if you look how the flower has bloomed from his head, and you know, you see like this I guess forest creature, let's put it that way, I don't know what to call it, you know, kind of like getting the pollen from those ideas. It's kind of like that. So the more that SinB does in experimenting what she wants to figure out in her life, that is the action that she has to take, because that will give her the ideas of like, yeah, this is what I want, okay, I didn't like this, okay, I enjoyed this but not this aspects of it, and that will make it easier for life to figure out how they can adjust what they want to bring to her in a way that she will be satisfied with it, and also being able to figure out a path towards her, if that makes sense. So if she continues trying different things, it will be very, very, very beneficial for her to figure out what is meant for her. Okay, so any more messages for SinB's career? Page of Swords. Any more messages? Oh, another Knight of Wands. I said Knight of Wands because I said another because I thought it was the Knight of Swords. Okay, so we have the Page of Swords reversed. So definitely she's still kind of struggling to get those messages on what's the right thing to do. She's kind of struggling to figure out what it is that she's happy with, or she's still having difficulties communicating with her higher self, with her spiritual theme, or the universe and herself. Like she's still, like she can't hear clearly what is the right thing to do, or she hasn't hear clearly what it is that she wants to do, right? Like she's still working on that. We have the Ace of Pentacles, and because of that, since she hasn't figured out how that communication works, it's making it kind of difficult for her to figure out how to start her new project. You know, the Ace of Pentacles is like starting a long-lasting project, very stable, very concrete and material. Like she hasn't figured that out yet. Like she can't start on that new beginning, even though she could. She can't do that yet until she figures out like an effective form of communication. Like maybe she's doing all of these things and she hasn't like connected the pieces. That's kind of what I'm getting at. So that could be one of those things. And then we have the World. So definitely this is destiny. This is very important. And I've been called to point out that the World is under the Lapis Lazuli, which is a card that works with your third eye chakra. So being able to see all of those things that you cannot see. The World is a Saturn card. So the universe is still shifting energy, still working through that, and the fact that the World is upright is that things are working in its divine time. So things are going at the pace that they have to go through. So SinB can't rush this at all. She needs to take her time with it. As much time as she needs, she can take that time. The World is working in her favor in that sense. And the last card that we have is the Knight of Wands, which this Knight of Wands kind of talks about, it's a Sagittarius card, so in its reverse. So actually the message that I got from it was that she doesn't need to travel very far to figure out what is important for her, or she doesn't have to go too far to figure out what it is that she wants to do. Like everything is at her hand, and like everything is in her close proximity, and that's why she got this doable card. Like she doesn't have to look too far away from her, or it's not super far away from her to figure out what she needs or what she wants. Like she doesn't need to go on a full-on retreat and figure out who she is and what her life is all about, and none of that. It's very close to home, you know. She's already doing what she has to do. Like she doesn't have to go very far to get this done. She doesn't have to go on this huge journey to figure things out for herself. Like everything is in her close proximity. All the information that she needs is within her grasp. That's kind of what I got with this Knight of Wands. So I want to take just one more card, one very last card for SinB's career. Oh, I thought it came up. One last card. Oh, I said one last card. But we have two. They're both sideways, so I don't know what to do. Okay. I'll put both of them up, right, and we'll talk about them. So the cards that we got, we have a Cancer and a Pisces card. So a lot of water. We have the Moon and the King of Cups, basically. So we have, like, there are a lot of unknowns that she doesn't know how to work through them, but we have a lot of blue, so she definitely feels those changes, or they're definitely happening even if she's not super aware of them. There is this duality of figuring out what she really wants to do. You know, that is that animalistic, wild, instinctual side from her is like, oh, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do, you know, following what she's wildly passionate about and trying to tame those ideas into tangible things. That's kind of what I'm getting with this Moon card. If you look at the thoughts, well, it's supposed to be a wolf and a dog, so you know, the wild side and the domesticated side, but in this case it looks like it's just like a fox and a dog. Very cute, by the way. So yeah, so the Moon is kind of like saying that I do feel like there's like, even though the Moon can talk a lot about the unknown, a lot of like this mystery and not being able to figure out what to do with life, in this case it kind of feels very positive. It feels like, you know, because we have another king, we have a King of Cups, so that strikes me as something very good. In her current energy, we had that SinB felt like a King of Wands, you know, so that strong cardinal energy of knowing when to take action, being the initiator, so being able to create change, being able to make change happen. But here we have the King of Cups, and the King of Cups is also a cardinal sign since it's Cancer energy. This is a card of someone that is emotionally fulfilled and emotionally very mature. So this is the energy of someone that feels that knows exactly how they feel. They know what they want, they know what they desire and what motivates them. They also know what they're afraid of. So I do feel that's very important. She really knows what she's afraid of, and that is essential to figuring out why she can't do the things that she wants to do sometimes. So let's say that there's something that she wants to do but she's afraid of it. If she knows that she's afraid of it, that will definitely help her figure out how to solve it then, you know, because then it's like, okay, well, if I don't want to do that, do I really need to do it? Or then be like, okay, but I really want to do that, how do I work through this fear? That kind of thing, right? So there's this sense of feeling fulfilled, feeling brave, and for whatever reason, if you look at this King of Cups, it kind of looks like he's drinking some tea or some warm beverage, and it kind of made me feel that she's just sometimes just sitting there looking up at the sky with her warm drink and is thinking, what am I going to do next? So this feels very, very relaxed, very controlled, very stable, and very mature. So I do feel that SinB is taking all of these changes in a very calm, collected, and very mature way, and that's definitely helping her and is working in her favor. So even though she may not have like the right form of communication, like she hasn't figured out how that works, she at least trusts blindly with the universe, and that will definitely help her figure out things that are definitely out of her control. And when you have that sense of knowing that not everything is under your control, and you hand that out to the universe, it makes it a lot easier to feel in control, if that makes sense. It's like you feel like you have your shit together because you understand what it is that you can do, and you also understand what it is that you can't do. So that's kind of what I'm getting at with SinB's career. So that's very good energy. So what I wanted to say with the moon is that in this case it feels very positive, because it feels like, when they say like, that the moon lights up in such a way that it could be like a guiding light within all the darkness. So I'm getting two things, that it could be exactly what I just said, or it could also be that when SinB is doing her shadow work, or she's going through those fears and exploring all of that unknown energy, she does get a lot of positivity and a lot of guidance from her higher self, her spiritual team, or the universe, however you want to see it. Like, she gets that support, and she does listen to that guidance, even though it doesn't seem to be a very concrete and well-established connection. It's still there, and she's still working through it, if that makes sense. So she's guiding herself by pure instinct, let's put it that way. She's not like fully aware of how things work, or if she is, then it's just not working as good as it could be. So yeah, now let's jump into her what was I going to say? Into her love life. So what's going on with SinB's love life? We have communication is key, which okay. Remember how I said in her so I mentioned in her current energy, we had the Knight of Swords reversed, and we had the Lovers right next to each other. And I was mentioning that, to me, it felt like in her love life, communication was going to be very, very important. Like, to SinB, communication is essential. It is important. Like, she needs that in her love life. She needs to make sure she can talk to her partner. She needs to make sure that she can communicate appropriately and be able to express her ideas and all of that. So that is something I wanted to point out. So yeah, communication is key. New moon in Gemini, so a new beginning for sure. She wants to start her relationships with good communication. Her romantic ones, by the way. We have full moon in Aries, a fiery climax approaches, so a potential partner coming through, maybe. SinB's love life. We have You're Good Enough, full moon in Virgo, and then we have North Node, Step Out of Your Comfort Zone. So those two cards coming together kind of do say something. It does feel okay. So the North Node is a card that talks about your destiny. North Node is usually depending on which sign it is, it's kind of like what was written for you, I guess, in a way. So yeah, destiny is kind of like your purpose here. What do you come here to do in this life? That's kind of what your North Node talks about. So the Step Out of Your Comfort Zone and You're Good Enough kind of both go hand in hand very well. It's just kind of showing that she needs to, in order to close the cycle, whichever that is in her love life, is just to figure out that she's good enough. She could find a partner, she could be with whoever she wants, and she could be with someone that makes her happy and will fulfill the skills and the traits that she's looking for in a partner. And that's like what she needs to do to step out of her comfort zone. And that will help her reach that fiery climax, which is just get what she wants. A partner that she can talk to. That's kind of what I'm getting with that. Let me get a couple more cards. So SinB's love life. What's going on? Oh. What the? Well, I'll take those 4. So what's going on with SinB's love life? We have... Okay, I said 4 and there were actually 5. Okay. We have Disseminating Moon. Take time to breathe out. So definitely life is telling her to chill, to relax, take a step back, look at the bigger... take a step back to look at the bigger picture. If it a little bit slow. So what she's already doing, basically, she was already doing that. So life is kind of telling her, continue doing that, continue taking that step back so you can see things clearly, continue just trying to see the bigger picture, the whole point. So it's all those things where you look at the bigger picture, it's like you're able to see things clearer because you are able to see why things are happening the way that they are. So let's say that if you're like in an obstacle course and there's one obstacle that you can't pass, then that could be like being laser focused on one thing and not being able to see beyond that obstacle, right? But then when you have the bigger picture and the bigger perspective, you're able to see, oh look, this is the path and journey that I have gone through so far, and oh, there is this more path that I have to go through. Like, this obstacle is nothing compared to what's ahead, or this obstacle is nothing in comparison to the rewards I can get after I go through this obstacle. That kind of mentality. The other card that we have is Watching Crescent Moon. Have faith in your dreams. That kind of talks about, feeling, stepping out of your comfort zone, have confidence with yourself, and things will slowly work out. It's kind of like having faith in your dreams. Like, a dream will eventually come true in SinB's love life. It's just not there yet. We have third quarter moon. Adjustments are required. So remember how I mentioned that, like, things are, it's just not there yet. We'll figure out in a little bit what is not there yet. But yeah, things are changing, things are transforming, things are still being put into place. Makes sense why it's not time for her to be in a romantic relationship yet. Things are still in the works. The other card that we have is Full Moon in Aquarius. Show the world the real you. So if things are not really working out for SinB the way that she will like, then I guess it makes sense why life is kind of encouraging her to show the real her. Because when she shows who she truly is, it will make it easier to find a partner for her, because then she will be also attracting who she is in her love life. So what she's already doing in her career, she can definitely do that in her love life, and all she has to do is know that who she is good enough, knowing that what she wants will be good enough to get what she desires, if that makes sense. So if she's doing the things that she does for herself and she continues being herself, it will make it a lot easier to find a partner for her, because whoever's meant to be with her will just naturally be attracted to her. But that person will only recognize her when she is being who she truly is, if that makes sense. So let's see what else is going on with SinB's love life. We have Samantha. Perfect acceptance. So you know what I was talking about right now? That is perfect acceptance. Someone that cares about you for exactly who you are. They don't have to change. There's a difference between adjusting to your partner and changing, right? So this person doesn't have to change for SinB. SinB doesn't have to change for this person. They're both at the stage that they have to be to meet each other and to be with each other. And adjustments are always required, of course. It's just like, fixing little details. Like, oh, you prefer this? Oh, okay, I'm okay with that. Quick change, because it's not drastic, let me change my personality for you. It's like, oh, let me just adjust what I already do so it fits with what you already do. Being able to find middle grounds are not as hard when both people are in the right stage to be in a relationship. And the right stage to be in a relationship is different for everyone, but the basic foundation is when you are okay with yourself and you give yourself your place, respect, and self-worth, it makes it easier to be with somebody else because you are okay with your energy, and that does leave enough room to be able to deal with somebody else's energy. Let me just put it that way. So what else is going on with SinB's love life? Oh crap. I said crap because there's so many. So we have Orenda, honor your mystical creative force. So this could potentially be talking about SinB having to just embrace all of this third eye energy. So she may know a lot more than she realizes, basically. We have Hets, be still and allow the enemy to reveal themselves. So what I'm getting with this is that if SinB is afraid of attracting the wrong people in her love life, or she's tired of attracting the wrong people in her love life, then life is just like, I'll allow. Okay, I knew I was gonna have to explain this. So you know how I mentioned that you attract who you are? Yes, it's kind of true. But sometimes we attract people that are very different from us, yet very similar. How do I explain it? So yeah, we could attract people that have the same qualities that we do, but they're expressing it in very unhealthy ways. So let's say you are a very caring and nurturing person. You could attract people that could be nurturing and caring, but they don't give that to themselves, so they desire to be with people that can do that for them, and then they can end up being very needy and very clingy and even obsessive and possessive about the you know about that person that is very nice and caring, right? So what I'm saying is that you could attract people that are not that good, because in that sense they are manifesting their needs in a way that are unhealthy, and that could you will be in a way attracting people that want what you have, that type of thing. But I do remember reading somewhere that you attract whatever you attract, but you are who you entertain. So it's all those things that SinB just needs to trust that, yeah, she's going to attract a lot of people. If she's a very confident woman that is caring and all of that, of course she's going to attract some people that will want her for that, because they feel like they need it and they can only get it from her. And if they haven't healed that part of themselves that can give that to themselves, then yeah, it will come out in a very negative way towards her. But it is, all she has to do is make sure that she has the power, the worth and the self-respect to be like, no, step out of my life, having those boundaries basically. So I feel that's kind of what this card is talking about, is like, just be attractive, just do what you want, just show the world who you truly are. And of course you're gonna attract a lot of people, but that's perfectly fine. Just learn to be able to say, no, I don't want you in my life, or be like, okay, step in. And then also being able to be like, okay, the person shows some red flags, step back. You know what I mean? And the last card that we have is Phenomenon. Be still and listen to the spirits. So I do feel that life is definitely this one kind of goes hand in hand with this one, because I'm starting to think that it's all those things that life is kind of saying, trust in the ability that you have, trust your discernment, trust all of that. But it also feels like life is kind of saying, like, also trust that we are going to be out there to help you out whenever you need it. Just trust that things are just going to work out. Trust that we're going to be there to protect you. Trust that we're going to be there to tell you if this person's actually not okay for you. So it's kind of like trusting her gut instinct, It's kind of like if she were to meet someone and then she feels kind of like, oh, this doesn't feel right. Even if the person hasn't done anything, the moment that she gets that feeling, she should just trust that it's the right feeling, right? She should just trust that it's like, you know what? I will step towards this relationship with caution, right? Or straight up just be like, I don't want to even try this out, boom, get out of my life, right? So this is kind of like trying to open her third eye in a way that will be beneficial for her love life. Is there anything I want to say? I feel this is actually just perfect. I want to take more cards out, but at the same time, it doesn't feel right. Like, it feels like this is good enough, right? Like, I want to take more Earth Oracle, Sacred Earth Oracle cards, which are the green ones, but it doesn't feel right. It feels like I'm just adding and piling more to this, and there's no need. I also want to take tarot cards, but it doesn't feel right. Like, it feels like this message, boom, it hit home, and that's good enough. So, I'll leave that there. Let's go on to her healing messages then. I just love how straightforward SinB's energy is. It's very satisfying to have that, right? It's just like, this is what I have to do, this is what I have to say, and that's it. Okay. So, I'll take Earth Oracles for her healing messages. So, any healing messages for SinB? Healing messages for SinB. 3 cards. Okay. We have renewal, definitely. Change is happening for SinB, makes sense. We saw that a lot in her career, I think. Healing messages for SinB. We have stretch. Healing messages. Oh, I said 3 and you gave me 4. We have efficiency and reaction. Okay. Okay, so with these cards, I'm getting that with efficiency and reaction, I kind of got that SinB just has to be very careful with how she takes action. So this is like, don't be reckless, don't be impulsive type of energy, because reaction could be like, you know, something is done to her and then her reaction is that impulsive recklessness that comes with it. You know, you don't think, you just do. So I do feel that one healing message that is going through for SinB is just to be very cautious of how she reacts to things. The other thing that I got with that one is to not give up. So if there's ever a time that she feels like, oh, things are just not working out, for example, how we saw in her current energy, how she seems to be a little bit pessimistic about her love life, life is kind of telling her, do not be discouraged, do not give up, things are eventually going to work out, do not worry about that. Also with the efficiency, I'm getting that negativity that could sometimes come towards SinB could affect her efficiency of working and even thinking, or even on how to spend her energy. So you know how sometimes you do things that are emotionally exhausting? That's kind of where I'm getting at. So if she's constantly overthinking something, overanalyzing something, or just has completely given up hope about it, then her efficiency could go down a little bit because her mind is so preoccupied with that thing that she's overthinking. And that's kind of the energy that I'm getting when we saw the Six of Swords reverse in her current energy and the Four of Swords reverse in her current energy, and when we got the Page of Swords in her career. So, you know, it's that card, you know, she's still overthinking. Like, if you look at all her elements, her cups were fine, her pentacles were fine, her wands were definitely perfectly fine. So her earth, her water, and her fire were perfectly fine, but her air was the only one that is still kind of like iffy, is still inconsistent, is still not super stable, is still affecting her a little bit, holding her back a bit. So yeah, I do feel that life is kind of like, be careful with how you react to things. The other thing that I'm getting with this card is like, you know how I mentioned in her love life just now that her she should pay attention to her like gut feeling. I'm getting that is very, 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 very important in the rest of her life. So whenever she feels like, oh, this doesn't feel right, or she feels like something's holding her back, because I'm saying, because you know how you see right here that his hand is on his chest, so it kind of feels like, you know, when you kind of feel like you were like choking in, or I don't know how to explain it. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm getting with those cards. So then we have renewal, which was the first card that came up. It feels like one of the healing messages going through for SinB is that things are eventually going to start changing. Things are going to go in her favor, as we saw the world in her career. Things are going to start, you know, the wheel is going to start turning eventually. Things are going to be a lot clearer. Things are going to be a lot, not necessarily black and white, but clear in the sense that things are just going to make sense for her. Things are just going to work out the way that she wants them. Things are going to slowly start moving. Because right now, it feels like SinB's doing a lot of things, so she's the one moving, but the universe hasn't made things happen in such a way that will get her life moving, you know. So like opportunities, let's say, that's kind of what I mean by life moving. Like, opportunities haven't come through, and they haven't made themselves known in a way that SinB could actually take action towards those projects that we were potentially talking about in her career and in her current energy. So yeah, the wheel is not turning yet, but SinB's taking action. So at least there's some fuel for the wheel to start turning. Let's put it that way. And that renewal, that change that she's going to go through, especially if she continues working on her self-worth, then that will definitely help for her to stretch. And this stretch card is talking about being able to expand your mind, being able to think beyond what you see, being able to break your limitations, being able to go far beyond, think outside the box, being able to see things from a very different point of view as well. So with this stretch card, I'm getting that things will eventually, again, they will start making sense as we see the white. So she's in complete harmony, complete realignment. She is able to just work through everything because she is completely stable, that type of energy. So I think that definitely helps. For example, that energy that she is being kind of guided to go towards is something that she's already kind of working on, but she may not be fully aware of that. So I was thinking how I was going to do the next thing. So I'm going to take 3 cards from the Spirit Animal Oracle. Healing messages for SinB. Oh, of course. Healing messages for SinB. So we have one. We have two. I'm gonna put this one away. One more card from here. Healing message for SinB. And we have the whale. Perfect. Now, I'm gonna do something a little bit different. Okay, so what is a panther unlocking for SinB? What is the hawk spirit unlocking for SinB? What is the whale spirit unlocking for SinB? Okay. Perfect. Okay, now let's talk. I don't know. I feel so inspired doing SinB's reading. Like, I don't know why. So when I saw the panther, I was laughing a little. I chuckled to myself a little bit because this panther spirit is talking about reclaiming your power, and this is a card that always tells me, self-worth, self-respect. That's kind of what I get from this one. So you know how we saw the whole thing in her love life about you're worthy, you're good enough, the show the world the real you. This is kind of what I'm getting with that panther spirit, right? So I'm not really connecting the animal cards to the earth oracle that we got, because those three are just kind of like a thing of their own. But this panther spirit, I'm definitely connecting it to her love life. So definitely being positive and understanding her self-worth, definitely respecting her ideas, respecting her personality, respecting who she is, will be a way of reclaiming her power. So giving herself her own place, basically. That is very important. And this panther spirit is talking about complete stability, because we have 2 4s. When you add them up, you have 8, which is all about infinite possibilities. So I do feel that there's this sense of if SinB continues working on herself and she reclaims her power, there is this sense of a lot of confidence and a lot of good things going through. And the thing that the panther spirit is unblocking is, oh my god, how do you say that word? Effervescence? I have no clue. Cultivate love. So when this panther spirit is encouraging her to reclaim her power, and that is to help her cultivate love. So this could definitely be talking about her love life, but it could also be about just feeling loved, basically. Okay, message unblocked. Next one. So we have the hawk spirit, and we have that spirit be your guide, 32. And if you add those up, it adds up to a 5, which talks about change and transformation. I'm getting so excited. So this hawk spirit, with let spirit be your guide, it's something that we have been seeing continuously throughout her whole reading, about letting the universe work with her, letting the third eye, crown chakra, all of that, which we also saw in her career. So life is definitely, this hawk spirit is telling her, you want to see the big picture, you want to see how things are eventually going to work out, you want to see the wheel turning, you want to see the world go in your favor and work in the things that you want to work in. Then in order to get that higher perspective and that eagle eye point of view, work with the hawk spirit, work with your guides. And if she does that, the thing that it will be unlocking is euphoria. Honor yourself. So I do feel that this is very similar to the message that the panther spirit is giving, but the difference is kind of like she will be able to see things clearly, and that will give her confidence as to knowing what is going on and what to do, because she's finally being able to see what's in her control and what's not in her control, which I feel were the words that I used for in her career, I think. Yeah, something along those lines. So that one seems very straightforward. Like, it's a message that's bleeding a little bit from the panther spirit. Makes sense why it's in the middle. We'll see what the whale has to say. So then the last card that we have is the whale spirit, with a 6 and a 5, which is an 11, or basically a 2. Balance. 2 is all about balance. So this whale spirit says, trust the great mystery. So this is kind of like the moon card that we saw in her career. It's definitely, just trust that if, also that the fool that we saw in her current energy, that's what those cards are talking about. Just trust the unknown, trust the universe, trust that things are working out that way, that they have to work out. So this is what the whale spirit is talking about. And trusting the great mystery is just being able to see the big changes are about to happen, which we kind of saw in her career as well, with all of the new moon energy. Big changes are definitely on the way. And what is the whale unblocking? We have solitude, alone but not lonely. So it's all those things that maybe physically people will not be there to help SinB the way that she may want, but her spirit guides are definitely there to help her out in what she needs. So it's all those things that she is doing things on her own physically, but she's definitely not alone. The universe is working with her spirit guides, angels, her higher self, like all of that. Or people's positive energy is working in her favor as well. So for example, if the fans want to send SinB good energy, good vibes, that is a form of helping her manifest what it is that she wants to manifest. So that's what the whale is kind of blocking. By just trusting in the universe, things are just going to start working out. And the other thing that the whale is unblocking is detox, cleansing and restoring yourself. So I think this could also mean that the solitude that SinB needs is a solitude that will definitely help her bring herself together. It's kind of like the energy that we saw in her career, I think, is like don't do her inaction is the action that she needs to do right now. So continuing working on herself, even though she seems to be in a very positive energy, life is definitely encouraging her to continue doing that, so like that she can continue working in, you know, so she can prepare herself for when those wheels start turning. So when opportunities start coming in, she's already ready because she worked on herself. That type of energy. So I will leave that there. Thank you for everyone that watched this video. I am so pumped and I'm so excited for you guys to watch this one. I don't know what you guys are gonna say about this one, but I hope it's a lot of beautiful things, and I hope this was helpful to you and healing and entertaining and fun to watch. This was a reading for SinB, but it felt so inspirational and so motivational to read for her. So I really do hope that that feeling was transmitted and somehow shown to you guys. I don't know how to say it, but yeah, I will leave that there. Thank you so much for watching, and see you on the next one, whenever that is, however that is. Love and healing from my part to you, and